Hey, welcome back, students. In this video, I want to go ahead and talk to you a little bit about adding and subtracting when using scientific notation. And so we want to go ahead and begin with a general example here. I'm just going to go ahead and write it down on the screen, and then we'll go through the particulars of how do we solve this particular problem. So here's an example. And so let's go ahead and begin with this number here. Let's say that we begin with a number of 4.00 times 10 to the 5th power. And we want to go ahead and add this to, say, 2.5 times 10 to the 5th. Well, here's the deal. When we do this kind of math, we want to make sure that we pay attention to two things. One, we got to pay attention to the coefficients. And we also need to pay attention to the exponent portion of the number. And so just to clarify, this portion here is what we call the coefficient. Okay, and then this part here that I'm going to put in a little bit of a rounded base, this part here is the exponent portion, with the actual exponential number or the exponent number being the number at the very top here that I'm going to identify right there. Okay, and so what you want to do is you want to look at these parts here as a way to kind of begin solving the problems, because when you look at the exponent portion of the number here, you got to make sure that the number is going to be the same for both of these. So for example, if we look at the exponent part here on both sections, notice the 5 here is going to be a same number for both of these. And because it is, we can then do something about this, and we can actually group it together. So let me erase some stuff out of here so we can make some room. And so what you're going to do is you're going to separate these out, if you will. And let me just go ahead and do this. You're going to take the coefficient portion of this, and we're going to put these together. So we're going to take this 4 and bring it down. And so there'll be 4.00. Take the operation that's asked here, which is a plus sign, and then bring the other number and bring that down to 2.5. And we're going to treat these differently. And we're only going to do this process here, if the exponent portion of the number is correct or the same. And so what we'll find here is, if you look at this, notice the 5 here is the same as the 5 over here on this side. And because it is, what we can do here is we can just group all of this together as times 10 to the 5th. And so we're going to keep the exponent part of this as we continue to work. Okay? And so all that's left to do now is to take care of the coefficient portion, which we'll do here, and we'll add these together. And when we do, what we wind up getting here is 6.5, and then bring down the exponent part times 10 to the 5th. And this here is the answer when we're adding numbers. Let's go ahead and contrast this with a slightly different process, and let's go ahead and do this on the side. What if we were to take these same numbers and subtract them? So let's say that we got 4.00 times 10 to the 5th minus 2.5 times 10 to the 5th. Again, notice here that in both cases, what you're going to find is that the exponent is the same on both of them. Okay? And so all we need to do now is separate them out. So I'm going to go ahead and bring the 4 and the 2.5, bring it down separately. So here, 4.0, bring down the operation, which is minus 2.5. I'm just going to bring this number down. And then the exponent, since it is the same, we can keep that as the same for both of these. So it would be times 10 to the 5th. All that's left to do is to go ahead and finalize the operation here, which we're going to do right now. 4.0 minus the 2.5 will give us a very specific number. And so that number, when you do that, is going to be the following. All right, so what you get here is going to be 1.5, and then bring down the exponent portion times 10 to the 5th. And here is the answer when you're subtracting. And so just to make sure that we got this, this is the adding portion of things, and then the subtractions over here on this side. Okay? And so there we have it. That is how you go ahead and add numbers using scientific notation. And so what I want to do here in the next video is to show you how we go ahead and multiply and then divide numbers using scientific notation. So if you haven't already done so, go ahead and subscribe, folks, but keep on watching, keep on learning, and we'll see you in the next video.